Came here last week and picked up the win in the Midwest Modifieds. He's not here tonight. Mervyn Castle, the third, finished second. They had a great race up front. Mervyn's not here tonight. Andy Davey finished third. He is here tonight, picked up a heat win. And then Justin Bassa, who finished in fourth, he is not here tonight. Wind has picked up a little bit as we went along here tonight. Temperatures in the mid-70s earlier today, and you can see if you're even watching on the stream, the wind blowing from towards turns 1 and 2 towards 3 and 4, pretty much directly across the racetrack here tonight. And for those of you joining us on the stream, as Greg pans out, you can see the big hills in the background as well. Those are actually, we are right on the edge of the iron mines, and those are piles of tailings that were put there years ago, as a majority of the steel that has come from the United States. The iron ore coming from right here on Minnesota's historic Iron Range. A lot of tradition and history here at Hibbing Speedway. Some of the great racers back in the day. In fact, this track has held a number of very big races and had a lot of the touring stock cars back before NASCAR would come through here. In fact, when this track opened, it was a full half mile, and the track would go where you can see those haulers in the background, and that behind the first row of haulers actually was the back stretch. And did some horse racing here. Did a lot of different things. In fact, the flagman Roger Carlson up in the flag booth right now, 87 years old, doing our flagging here this evening for us. Back in the day, one of the best stock car drivers in all of the United States. In fact, set some speed records and still helping us out here till we get a regular flagman. But thanks to Roger for being up in our flag stand again this week here at Hibbing Speedway. Well, if you're up in the Northland area and you want to see racing tomorrow night, we'll be doing it at the Proctor Speedway, with racing getting underway at 5 o'clock. Northern Vintage Stock Cars will be in town tomorrow night. And then don't forget, no racing next Saturday night here at Hibbing Speedway, but we will be racing a week from tomorrow on Sunday night. That is a Sunday night race here in Hibbing, as we will have the XR Northern Storm. That is all a week from Sunday here at Hibbing Speedway. Hopefully we can see you all here live back on XR Events or XR Plus, and also on YouTube. And hopefully we can see the folks who are here live next week. A lot of construction, a lot of things have happened here with the new management group, and a lot of great things. The racetrack, they've done a lot of work, removed a lot of clay, put on a lot of clay, and just to smooth this racetrack out a lot of work done in the grandstands, and a lot more to come. Roger giving them the one to go up in the flag stand. Again, we'll try it. Dylan Miller and Braden Rewerts. Braden Rewerts, kind of a YouTube star himself. If you search him on YouTube, you can find him giving some comments after his team won a trip to the state tournament for hockey. High school hockey in Minnesota. I believe it's still the biggest state tournament in the country. Dylan Miller, your leader. Miller's been racing here for a long time at Hibbing Raceway. He's been so close to winning a championship for many years, and And that is Sam Blevens out of his car and okay. Went over a couple of times as just watched it again on the replay. Sam picking up his first heat win of the season earlier tonight. 5 feature wins a year ago, was our track champion last year. Dylan Miller jumped out to the early lead in this one. Dylan Miller, 4 heat wins a year ago, did not get a feature win last year. Last feature win came back in 2023 when he picked up one on July 29th. Well, just to give you an idea how fast they were going in the first couple of laps here at Hibbing Speedway, Dylan Miller had the fastest lap time at 15.417, equates out here at the Hibbing Speedway to about 77.7 miles per hour average. So just to give you an idea, a little bit under 80 miles per hour. That's average, so that's through the turns and everything, so a little faster on the straightaways. And the whole family obviously concerned about young Sam, his dad Michael out there, his brother Mikey, and his uncle Matt Cunha, all racing in this race. Sam, the youngest member of the Blevens stables, 17 years old. Been racing for 5 years now, so started when he was about 12 years old. Well, Sam's been out a number of times this year. He's been down at Ogilvie, over to the Bemidji Speedway, Grand Rapids. Here in Hibbing, his best finish so far was Thursday night over at the Grand Rapids Speedway when he finished 3rd in the feature. Unfortunately, car hauled into the infield. So we'll get them lined up. Officially 1 lap in, 19 remain. And Eric Gruba in the 68 got that car back out. He'll tag on to the end of this. Unfortunately, it looked like problems for the superstar, Adam Shin, the superstar having to take that 14 back into the pits. 1 in, 19 remain. Midwest Modified feature racing on a Saturday night here at Hibbing Speedway. Now Michael Blevens Sr. going to give Dylan Miller a run for his money. Michael Blevens to the outside. It was his son, Sam Blevens, who rolled over here a lap ago. Michael Blevens on the outside. He's in the black 10. Dylan Miller in the 18X. Right behind them, Andy Davey in the 91. Miller looking for his first win of the year. Michael Blevens, already 3 feature wins. Former national champion in the Pure Stock. He won the Pure Stock National Championship in 2016, 17, and 18. Devin Van House has worked his way into the top 5, trying to get past Braden Reworks into the top 4. Van House in the yellow 117, and we got a car up and off of turn 3, and that will bring another caution out. I believe that is Sam Kohler in the 26. And that is who it is. Going to be a shootout up front. Dylan Miller, Michael Blevens, Andy Davies won many races in a super stock and modified here. Took a year or 2 off. Now he's back. Braden Reworks, one of the young guns out here in the 44. And Devin Van House, who is ran many laps in a Midwest modified, late model here at Hibbing Speedway. Going to give them 1 to go when they come past the front stretch here. Five in, 15 remain. First feature of the night. Green flag out. Andy Davey tries to get to the inside, that 91. Blevens to the outside. Miller holds on to the lead. Now it is Davey and Van House side by side for second and third as Blevens pulls up alongside the 18X of Dylan Miller. Blevens actually the lead, that time by 22 one-thousandths of a second difference. Blevens in the outside in the black 10. And Blevens continues to lead. Miller in the 18X, now Van House into third. Andy Davey fourth. And the M2 of Chris Magestead in fifth. Michael Blevens looking for his 4th feature win of the season. 2 in Bemidji, 1 in Grand Rapids. Looking for 1 here tonight. Blevens did not get any feature wins a year ago here in Hibbing. His last win coming back on July 7th, 2023. Blevens lead over Dylan Miller. Just a little under a second at .998. Right now it is Michael Blevens, followed by Dylan Miller, Devin Van House, Andy Davey, Chris Magestead, your top 5. Mikey Blevens Jr. has moved up into that 6th spot in the 10 junior car. Mike Sr. is going to come up on some lap traffic. lap traffic car. Gruba pulls off the racetrack, giving some clean air and a lot of room for Blevens. That lead up to 1.9 seconds now, as Dylan Miller being pressured by the 117 of Devin Van House for second. Magestead still holds on to fourth. Andy Davey, Michael Blevens, Braden Rewart, and Eric Anderson. Three to go for Michael Blevens. Blevens gets the 2 flags, indicating 2 to go. Get the white flag this time by looking for his first feature win in almost 2 years here on his home track. He's into turn 3. He'll come out of turn number 4 as a 2025 feature winner here at the Hibbing Raceway. Your winner out of Hibbing will be Michael Blevens. Well, his first win in almost 2 years. His last win came here on July 7th, 2023. He's already picked up 3 feature wins this year, goes into victory lane here at the Hibbing Raceway. Going to check on his son first. It will be the 10 car of Michael Blevens. Blevens followed by the 18X of Dylan Miller. Chris Magestead taking that 3rd spot, followed by Andy Davey, Mikey Blevens, Braden Rewarts, Eric Anderson, Matt Cunha, Keith Koski, and Brant Gruba. Your top 10 finishers will be heading down into our victory lane, and we will hear from our feature winner, Mike Blevens, coming up here in just a moment. Like I said, over checking on his son, Sam. Going to give him a ride back. So first win since July of 2023 here at his home track of Hibbing Raceway. He's a 3-time WISSOTA national champion in the Pure Stocks back in 16, 17, and 18. He started on the inside of row number 2, and he goes into victory lane. He's joined by both of his sons down there. All right, Hibbing Speedway, put your hands together for your feature winner, Michael Blevens.
Folks, down here with Michael Blevens, the driver of the 10. This thing doesn't want to stay up. Mike, congratulations on your win tonight. Talk us back a little bit. We seen Sammy roll over there. Didn't really catch it. I just seen you over there. You know, a couple cautions. Track was definitely hammered down. Talk us about it a little bit.
That first restart, I don't know if you've seen, I went from like second, third to fucking last. It seemed like the track was really wet. I don't think we were ready to go yet. We should have packed it in a couple times. But the track just got better and better, faster and faster. It's rough as shit. It's one of those elbows up, cowboy type track. You just got to run it. And I think us old assholes, we got a little bit. Oh.
All right, Mike. Well, that's definitely interesting. Tell us about the people that help you get it here, man.
My wife.
Your wife.
I got a few sponsors on the car. Jerry Adams, Palmer's, Tavern and Grill. I got to look.
You got to look.
We got Binkley Holland, Bass Book Recycling, Snap Signs, Justin Amber Matson, Vic Vern Westland, Olson's Automotive, Ed's Electric, Carrie and Fabian Anderson, Iron Range Customs. Got Jerry Adams again, Binkley Engines, Perfect Performance, RBR, my wife. Yeah, well, I don't know. I do it anyways, but she lets me do what I want. She's amazing.
Well, Mike, enjoy your win, man. It was awesome watching Real Listening tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
So Michael Blevens, first win since July 2023 here on his home track of Hibbing Speedway. Congratulations to Michael winning here tonight. Fourth win on the season for Michael. He's got two over at Bemidji Speedway, one in Grand Rapids, and now one here at the Hibbing Speedway. Once again, no racing next Saturday night. We'll be racing a week from tomorrow night. On a Sunday night is the XR Northern Storm in town. That is June 15th, a Sunday night. Be sure to mark that on your calendar. And then June 24th, a regular race night with Street Stocks coming to town here on a Tuesday evening. Super Stock feature racing here on a Saturday night. Here's how we'll line them up. Row number one is going to have that 3B racing out of Saginaw. We will have Austin Bloom alongside of him in the 41. From Chisholm, it'll be Mikey Vital. Row number two, driving the 40C. Moved up from a Hornet into a pure stock, and now he is driving a Super Stock. That is Chaston Finkbone. Alongside of him in the 01 car from Hibbing, we'll have Trevor Ahrens. Row number three, he's on a roll. One last week in Bemidji, one on Thursday night on his home track of Grand Rapids. From Cohasset, that'll be Dalton Carlson. Row number three to the inside from Kelly Lake. He has won 4 of the last 5 track championships here at the Hibbing Speedway. He won last week in the 19 from Kelly Lake. That'll be Tristan LaBarge. Row number 4 in the 76 from Chisholm, we have Doug Koski. He's alongside the 11 car out of Iron of Kevin Celine. Row 5 in the 41 from Chisholm, it'll be Brian Vital. He'll be alongside the 47J out of Grand Rapids of Justin Barsness. And row number 6 in the 79A, we'll have Andy LaBarge. He'll be alongside the 30S of Dan Severson. 20 laps of Super Stock with Soda Super Stock feature racing here at Hibbing Speedway. Green flag out from Roger Carlson. And Andy LaBarge is going to be around over there in turns 1 and 2, so we will get a caution flag right off the bat here. So Andy LaBarge, him and his cousin Tristan the last 2 years have pretty much split all of the feature races here at Hibbing Raceway. So Tristan winning the first night. In fact, the last 2 seasons, it actually was Andy LaBarge winning the season opener, and then his cousin Tristan winning a majority of the feature races after that. So last week it was Tristan winning. Maybe it's Andy LaBarge's time to win the second week. Kind of flip-flop. Did not get a lap in. Problems for Austin Bloom. Mikey Vital's going to take the lead. We got a car off of the racetrack. That is, I believe, the 19 of Tristan LaBarge. All right, couple of birthdays. Happy third birthday tomorrow to Jackson Vessel, driver of the 16 late model, Derek Vessel's son. Happy birthday to Jackson. And happy 8th birthday, Louie. And happy birthday to Adriana Broking as well. So happy birthday, Louie, and happy birthday, Adriana Broking, celebrating birthdays with us here this evening. So unfortunately, problems for the 3B of Austin Bloom. Started on the pole. I was going to say, Austin Bloom on the season. One heat win here and one at the Proctor or Superior's Gondik Law Speedway. And unfortunately, a night done for the 3B of Austin Bloom. Got racing in the family. The son-in-law of longtime racer Al Rapp, married to his daughter. I believe it's Tasha, or is it Shayna? One of them. Both of them raced. So Austin Bloom, his night is over. So officially just one lap in. And again, that was the 19 last week's feature winner, Tristan Labarge, who went up and off of turns 3 and 4. So still 19 remain in this one. Mikey Vital will lead us out. Mikey Vital, track champion here at Hibbing Raceway. That was back in 2019. One heat win a year ago, looking for his first feature win in quite some time here at Hibbing Raceway. In fact, if he can hold on a win, might be his first that I've got on record. Number of heat wins over the years, but not a feature win. Vital in that black and green 41. But here comes the 57 of Dalton Carlson. Carlson having a good week. One Sunday in Bemidji, one Thursday in Grand Rapids. Carlson's going to go to the outside of Vital, takes the lead down the backstretch. Dalton Carlson, your leader. Mikey Vital, Trevor Ahrens, the 76 of Doug Koski, and then the youngster, Chaston Finkbone, sitting in fifth. Some metal came off of some car over in turns 1 and 2, and we've got a car that went off of turns 3 and 4. That'll be Trevor Ahrens. Debris over in turns 1 and 2. Trevor Ahrens off the track in turns 3 and 4. So Dalton Carlson looking for his third win of the week as he won last Sunday night in Bemidji, picked up a win on Thursday night over in Grand Rapids. His last feature win came a little over a year ago back here on May 25th in Hibbing. Four in, still 16 remain. Bumping over in turns 1 and 2, and Chasten Finkbone ends up being the car around, so will we not even get a lap in here? And now we're going to see the 79A of Andy Labarge go into the pits. Say, I'd like to wish a special happy birthday. I wish I would have known when I stopped down and talked to him, to the great Donnie Oz, celebrating a birthday. Your biggest Canadian fans, Gord and Kathy. Don, sending you a happy birthday wish. Back underway, 16 remain in this one. Dalton Carlson, Mikey Vital, battle there between Trevor Ahrens and the 01 and the white 76 of Keith Koski. Then it's the 11 of Kevin Celine. Tristan Labarge trying to bang his way up to the front. Labarge now up into the top 5. Doug Koski trying to get past Mikey Vital. Slides in front of him on turn 2. Vital crosses over, but Koski holds on to second place down the back stretch and into turns 3 and 4. Dalton Carlson, your leader. His lead a little over 2 seconds last time by. Carlson, Koski, Vital. Now Tristan Labarge bangs into Trevor Ahrens and gets through by him in turns 1 and 2. Tristan Labarge to the outside of Mikey Vital. A little over halfway to go in this one. This time by, we'll have 8 to go. Tristan LaBarge doing everything he can to try and catch up to Dalton Carlson, but Carlson's got that 57 dialed in. He said looking for his third win of the week. Dalton's been racing since he was just a young lad. His dad, Tim, a longtime racer. And we've got a car around. That is Dan Severson. And exactly what Dalton Carlson didn't want to see is that will bring Tristan LaBarge right up behind him with 7 laps to go. Another nice crowd here tonight at Hibbing Hibbing Speedway. We do appreciate all of you coming out and joining us here on a Saturday evening. Mentioned it earlier tonight, but Dan Severson shows up every Saturday night. The only win of his career came here in 2022 on August 20th, and a great night for him and a very emotional night for him. Hard to believe it's been almost 3 years since that happened. Green flag coming back out, 7 to go for Carlson. Here's Tristan LaBarge trying to get between Koski and Dalton Carlson. They're 3 wide for you down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. LaBarge drifts to the outside. Carlson crosses over. Still Carlson and Koski at the line. Officially, it was Dalton Carlson by 15 one-thousandths of a second. Dalton Carlson continues to lead. Koski right beside him, though. Tristan LaBarge, Mikey Vital, and the 11 of Kevin Saline. 5 remain. Make it 4 for Dalton Carlson. Carlson's going to see the 2 to go. This time past the flag stand. And caution flag comes out as we've got some cars around over here in turns 3 and 4. Looks like Chasten Finkbone involved in that. The 41 of Mikey Vital, and I believe it might be Trevor Aarons, the other car. Again, not what Dalton Carlson wanted to see. Officially 17 in, 3 remain. We'll be hearing from our winner down in the victory lane following this race. I'd like to remind you that racing here in 2025 at Hibbing Raceway is sponsored in part by Park State Bank, by Lakeside Lumber, Mirabella Realty, MDI, Iron Mining Association of Minnesota, Purple Wave Auctions, Corpy Builders, Longhorn Chassis, Valicita, Bulletproof Tees, United Rental of Hibbing and Hermantown, and J&H Auto of Silver Bay. Actually, it was the 11 of Kevin Celine in on that one. I thought it was the 40C of Chaston Finkbone. Mikey Vital going to slide in behind the 19 of Tristan Labarge. Well, we'll see Tristan Labarge tried to sneak in between the 76 of Doug Koski and the 57 of Dalton Carlson. On the last restart. Lights off, 3 remain in this one. Dalton Carlson looking for his first win since May 25th a year ago here at Hibbing Raceway. And his third of the week if he can hold on for this one. Green out. Labarge going to try and go to the outside. Carlson's going to slide up and cut him off. Now Labarge to the inside. Carlson continues to lead, 2 to go. Again, Labarge to the outside. He'll cross over as Carlson cut him off again. Tristan Labarge to the inside, slides up on Dalton Carlson. 1 lap to go. Tristan Labarge going to win for the 2nd week in a row here at Hibbing Speedway. Second win of the season for the 19 car out of Kelly Lake. Your winner is Tristan Labarge. Labarge followed by the 76 of Doug Koski. Then we saw the 57 of Dalton Carlson, the 41 of Mikey Vital, the 47J of Justin Barsness, the 01 of Trevor Aarons, and the 40C of Chaston Finkbone. So Tristan Labarge had to come from the outside of row number 3 to win for the 2nd week in a row. We'll head down into our victory lane and hear from him in just a moment. Let's hear it for your winner from the 19 car, Tristan Labarge.
Folks, down here with the driver of the 19 Superstock, Tristan Labarge. Tristan, man, you had to go to the back of the pack. We've seen you go off early on. Man, you charged right back up. I mean, there was a lot of cautions, a lot of things that had to happen. You're back in victory lane.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. Now my arms are dead sore. Like, they're so sore. I don't even know what to say. It was. I didn't even have a plan. I just. Where he wasn't going to go, I was going to go, you know, and I thank God for that last restart because the one before, you know, I ended up doing a slide for life and it just wouldn't stick. And Dalton, you know, he's my buddy, and I would have had him win over anybody else other than me.
Yeah, Dalton did a great heck of a job as well. Man, thanks some people that helped you get here.
Oh, Nathan Bird, Aaron Olson, Second Chance, Hideaway Bar, Daver, my wife, my kids, Linda Carpenter, Ryan Aho, Aspen Health Transport, Lubavitch Motorsports, Herberts and Gerberts, Superior Towing, Superior Automotive, Duluth Towing, and Floss and Dawson.
Hey, man, congratulations. Enjoy your 2nd win, bro.
So once again, your winner, Tristan Labarge in the 19, followed by Doug Koski, Dalton Carlson, Mikey Vital, and Justin Barsness, your top 5 in our super stock. So Tristan Labarge winning the first 2 nights of racing here at Hibbing Speedway. All right, going to line them up here in your modifieds. On the inside of row number 1 in that 2-car racing out of Grand Rapids, we will have Mervyn Castle. Alongside of him, last year's track champion in the 11JR. From Canyon, that's Andrew Inman. Row number 2 to the inside in the 37X racing out of Kelly Lake, that will be Mac Esty. On his outside in the 55W, racing out of Chisholm, it is Jeff Rewood. Row 3 in the 45, that's Bob Broking from Grand Rapids, and last week's feature winner Tyler Kittner. TJ Heinley's in the 12 alongside of it, Jeff Wood in the red 55, Chris Magistad and Matt DePiro. 20 laps, modified feature racing here, second week of racing at Hibbing Speedway as the green flag comes out. Andrew Inman. Andrew Inman, your leader. Andrew Inman, last year's track champion here at Hibbing Raceway. Inman with 3 feature wins a year ago. And we've got a car into the infield. That is going to be the 45 of Bob Broking. Andrew Inman's last win came here on July 27th. A year ago, he had 3 feature wins on his way to his track championship here at Hibbing in his first year in a modified. Looking for his first win here in 2025, but the guy right behind him has been on a tear. He won last Saturday night here in Hibbing, and then won on Thursday night over at the Grand Rapids Speedway. The one thing, though, in his career that has avoided Tyler Kittner is a modified track championship. He's been close. He's won it 3 times in a Midwest modified, 3 times in a super stock, and trying to win it in a modified. Tyler, though, does slip up the racetrack and off the backstretch. That gives room for Castle and the 45 of Broking to move into second and third, and now Kittner's racing the 55 of Jeff Wood. Andrew Inman, your leader. Inman's lead already at 1.3 seconds over Bob Broking. Broking went to turn wide. They moved the tires that were on the end of the cement wall here in turn 1 from last week, and Broking went to turn a little bit wide and hit those tires, and they did not give, and did a lot of damage to the rear end on that 45, but obviously between Bob and his dad got that thing fixed up and back out here this weekend. Broking seeing some pressure from the red 2 of Charlie Castle and the yellow, green, and black 22 of Tyler Kittner. This race has all been the 11JR of Andrew Inman. Lead already at 2.5 seconds Got a car that is Jeffrey Wood off the track over turns 3 and 4. And that'll bring out a caution flag. 9 in, 11 remain. Andrew Inman's lead was already up to 2.5 seconds. But now he's going to have Bob Broking and Charlie Castle right behind him. And then a couple pretty good racers in the 22 of Tyler Kittner, last week's feature winner, and the 55 of Jeff Wood. And it was Jeff Wood's son Jeffrey who went off of turns 3 and 4. And Jeffrey going to take his car back into the pits. Green flag out, 11 remain. Tyler Kittner to the outside. I didn't see how Bob Broking dropped all the way back into fifth. Now Broking, though, going to make some backup as he pulls up and gets past Jeff Wood. Jeff Wood off the track. He's going to slide around over there in turn 3 in that red 55, and we'll get another caution. So Andrew Inman. And Jeff Wood being asked to leave the racetrack after coming after the 45 of Bob Broking. So it'll be Andrew Inman again. The 2 of Charlie Castle alongside the 22 of Tyler Kittner. Then we've got Bob Broking and the 12 of TJ Heinley. Green flag back out. Great restart for Inman. Something went flying off of someone's car off over there in turn 1. Inman, Kittner, battle for 3rd and 4th between the red and white 2 of Charlie Castle and the white and blue 45 of Bob Broking. Broking going to get Castle out of turn 2. 6 will remain for the 11 JR of Andrew Inman. Could have been just a piece of clay, as it looks like there's some chunks flying off of turn number 1 as they go around there. 5 remain for Andrew Inman. Tyler Kittner 2nd. Bob Broking the 2 of Charlie Castle. TJ Heinley. Then we got Chris Magistad. Problems for Matt DePiro. DePiro's going to head back into the pits. DePiro picked up a win at the Hibbing Speedway earlier this year. Came back on May 30th. He came here last Saturday after that win. Andrew Inman going to see the 2 flags indicating 2 laps remaining. White flag out this time by for Andrew Inman. Lead at almost 2 seconds over last week's feature winner Tyler Kittner. Into turn 3. Here he comes out of turn 4 to see the checkered flag. Your winner will be Andrew Inman. Tyler Kittner takes second, followed by Bob Broking, Charlie Castle, TJ Heinley, and the M2 of Chris Magestad. Well, he was your track champion a year ago. He had 3 feature wins, but his last coming last July 27th. Takes him till week 2 to get into victory lane here in 2025. Your winner from Canyon will be Andrew Inman. Inman followed in that race by the 22 of Tyler Kittner, last week's feature winner. Then Bob Broking, Mervyn Castle the third, TJ Heinley, and Chris Magestad. Your top finishers. We'll hear from Andrew down in our victory lane here in just a moment. And we want to move Andrew a little closer so they can get a shot from the camera. He was your track champion last year. He had 3 feature wins. Picks up one here night number 2. Hibbing Speedway. Put your hands together for Andrew Inman.
Folks down here with a really excited driver, Andrew Inman. Andrew, you had this car dialed in, man. You were pushing this thing really hard. A couple cautions came out. You were still able to fend everybody off. Probably the fastest car by far out there tonight.
Well, we appreciate it. This MB Customs race car works so well. Those guys really got it dialed in. I'm gonna try not to freaking ball like a baby up here, but it's the first win without my dad here. I did it for him, and I would have rolled his mother. Trying.
Very emotional win here. Andrew, man, you did it for your dad, dude. Congratulations. Who do you want to thank that helps you make this happen?
I might have to grab this from you. Huge thanks to everyone. I don't care if you turned a wrench one time or gave me $1. You all mean a lot to me. Like I said, MB Custom Race Cars, CMD Race Shocks, Mark Girth, helping me out a ton. Miller's Metal Roofing, Hardtails Disposal, JT Auto Sales, Dave's Automatic Transmission, Full Throttle Signs and Graphics. My buddy Austin, he had some bad luck out there, but he will be in this circle, I guarantee it, this year. He's been working hard. The Doghouse Bar and Grill. Who else? I better go to this side. Quality. Hardtails Disposal, Quality Collision. They're a new addition this year. Shooter Guy for having awesome photos all year long. Want to thank each and every one of you fans. You guys are absolutely the best. There's nothing that compares. Crack another beer. We'll have them at the trailer.
Congratulations, Andrew Inman. Enjoy the win, buddy.
Thank you.
So again, Andrew Inman, last year's track champion, winning here tonight, followed by last week's feature winner, Tyler Kittner. Bob Broking finishes in third, followed by Mervyn Castle the third, and TJ Heinley, your top 5 here this evening in the modifieds. Going to bring our late models out for 25 laps of late model feature racing. Here's how they're going to line up. The pole sitter will be in that 37X. Out of Kelly Lake, we'll have Skeeter Esty. Alongside of him in the 45J from Grand Rapids will be Johnny Broking. Row number 2 in the 6M. Racing out of Keewatin, we'll have Jeff Massengill. He'll be alongside the 30 car out of Proctor of Kevin Burdick. Row 3 in the 13 from Hibbing, it'll be Roger Paulo. He'll be alongside the 16 from Hibbing of Derek Vessel. Row number 4 in the 23 out of Hibbing, it'll be Kyle Peterlin. He'll be alongside the 28 from Hibbing of Jeff Provenzino. Row 5 in the 35 from Britt, it's George Ledeen. He's alongside the 54 out of Eveleth of Rick Nemi. row 6 in the 14. And from Gilbert, it's Keith Nemi. He's alongside the 12X out of Bovee of Ben Heinley. Row 7 will have a former track champion in the 79 out of Carlton of Kevin Carlson. And alongside of him from Bovee in the 12 car will be Mark Heinley. Once again, no racing next Saturday night here in Hibbing. We'll be racing next Sunday night, all part of the XR Northern Storm. And then the following Tuesday, actually a week from that following Tuesday on June 24th, we'll be here racing with Street Stocks here in Hibbing for the first time in many, many years. That is all coming up on June 24th. So no racing next Saturday. We'll be back here next Sunday night, June 15th. Skeeter Esty, Johnny Broking on the front row. Jeff Massengill, Kevin Burdick, row 2. Roger Paulo, Derek Vessel, row 3. Kyle Peterlin, Jeff Provenzino, row 4. We've got George Ledeen, Rick Nemi in row 5. Keith Nemi and Ben Heinley, row 6. Kevin Carlson, Mark Heinley in row 7. 25 laps, late model feature racing here on night number 2 at the Hibbing Speedway. Green flag coming out from flagman Roger Carlson. Johnny Broking to the early lead in the 45. Skeeter Esty. Then we've got the 30 of Kevin Burdick. Got some cars tangled up. That was Massengill, Provenzino, and Bessel. And it just causes a chain reaction all the way to the back. And Keith Nemi around. Problems for Kyle Peterlin. Also in there, looks like the the 54 of Rick Nemi. I can't really see as he's turned around. Nope, there's Rick. Oh, it's a 12 of Ben Heinley. Johnny saw his dad race here in the last race. See if he learned a little from him. So he's got a lot of years and a lot of laps here at Hibbing Raceway, so he knows quite a few things as well. Johnny picked up a heat win a year ago, last year here in Hibbing, in his first year in a late model. 3 feature wins. Went on to be our track champion, so kind of cool last year. Andrew Inman, first year moving up into a modified, winning the track championship. Johnny Broking moving up from the modifieds, first year in late model, winning the track championship. He's the 2-time defending champion before the tour closed of the Advantage RV Modified Tour. Well, they're going to count a lap, so 1 in, 24 to go. Sunday night racing tomorrow night in Proctor. If you want to make your way down to the Duluth Superior area. Northern Vintage stock cars will be there. Get underway at 5 o'clock tomorrow night. Green flag back out. Complete restart. Daniel Broking does the same thing he did last time as he shoots to the outside and gets past Skeeter Esty, and he will lead lap 1. Broking, Esty, Burdick, Derek Bessel in the 16, the 6M of Jeff Massengill. Now Bessel pulled up alongside the 30 of Kevin Burdick. That's your battle for 3rd and 4th. Then a battle for 4th or 5th and 6th between the 28 of Jeff Provenzino and the 16 of Derek Bessel. Johnny Broking. Always one of the fastest modifieds and now one of the fastest late models. Broking, Esty, Burdick, Bessel, Massengill, Provenzino. One of the battles on the racetrack is for 5th and 6th between the white 6M of Jeff Massengill and the black 28 of Jeff Provenzino. We have a couple battles farther back. Johnny Broking going to be approaching some lap traffic here in a lap or two. Kevin Carlson, a former track champion here at the Hibbing Raceway, running at the tail right now. Massengill got a little squirrely there in turns 3 and 4, but keeps it going straight and holds off the 28 of Provenzino. In the meantime, Kyle Peterlin has caught up to the 28 of Provenzino. You talk about some great battles between two guys that started in the late models about the same time. The 23 of Kyle Peterlin and the 28 of Jeff Provenzino here at Hibbing Speedway. Peterlin a winner on Sunday night in Proctor. Jeff Provenzino also a win earlier this year. That came down at the Viking Speedway in Alexandria. Down there for the Challenge Series. That back on May 10th. His only feature win here in 2025. Broking is caught up to Kevin Carlson. He already went past George Ledeen. Now it's Kevin Carlson. Broking past Carlson. His lead a little over 2 seconds over Skeeter Esty. Continues to be Burdick third, Bessel and Massengill your top 5. Then Provenzino and Peterlin. Broking around Roger Paulo. George Ledeen going to pull the 35 into the pits. Roger Paulo going to pull the 13 off into the pits. Broking trying to get past the 14 of Keith Nemi. Then it'll be the 12 of Heinle. Lead up to 2.5 seconds over Skeeter Esty. Derek Bessel now in a battle with the 6M of Jeff Massengill for 4th and 5th. Provenzino's right behind them, and then Kyle Peterlin. Johnny Broking with a little bit of fresh air before he catches up to Heinle, to Ben Heinle. He's going to have 5 to go when he goes past the flag stand. 5 to go for Johnny Broking. Skeeter Esty, Kevin Burdick, Derek Vessel by a nose over Jeff Massengill for 4th. And now Kyle Peterlin has gotten past Provenzino, but Provenzino wants his spot back. Those two are going to battle it out between turns 3 and 4 and down the front stretch. 2 to go this time by for the 45J of Johnny Broking. Problems for Derek Vessel. Vessel's had to slam on the brakes, and he's going to come to a stop over in turn 2. Something happened down the front stretch to Derek Vessel's car, and he was battling it out with the 6M of Jeff Massengill, and he rolls to a stop on the back stretch. There will be 2 remaining for the 45J of Johnny Broking, who had extended his lead to 4.3 seconds over Skeeter Esty. The XR Northern Storm Tour is going to kick off this Thursday in Proctor. And then Friday night we'll be in Superior, Saturday in Grand Rapids, and here on next Sunday night at the Hibbing Speedway. Unfortunately, Derek Vessel, his son, celebrating a birthday tonight. 23 in, 2 to go for the 45J of Johnny Broking. Skeeter Esty in the 37, Kevin Burdick in the 30, right behind him Massengill, and the 28 of Jeff Provenzino in that third row. Green flag out for Johnny Broking. Side by side, it is Esty and Burdick for second. Provenzino trying to stick his nose in there. 1 to go for Johnny Broking. He will come out of turn number 4. First win of the season for the 45J of Johnny Broking. Three feature wins a year ago, on track to be our track champion. Picks up 1 here on night number 2. Your winner from Grand Rapids in the 45J will be Johnny Broking. Kevin Burdick holds on for second, followed by Skeeter Esty, Jeff Provenzino fourth, Jeff Massengill, Kyle Peterlin, Ben Heinley, Mark Heinley, Keith Niemi, and Kevin Carlson, your top finishers. So Johnny Broking going to come into our victory lane. We'll hear from him as he picks up his first win of the season here in Hibbing. Had 3 a year ago. Completes the sweep here tonight. Actually, it is a heat win last week. One more to go, so hopefully you can stick around with us here for the Hornets. If not, no racing next Saturday. We'll be back here at the XR Northern Storm Tour. That is next Sunday night. So Sunday night racing here at Hibbing next week. As we head down into our victory lane here at Hibbing Speedway. First time getting out as a featured champion here in 2025. Hibbing Speedway, let's put your hands together for your winner tonight, Johnny Broking.
Folks down here with the driver of the 45, Johnny Broking. Johnny, man, heck of a win, dude. You were wailing out there. You had this car working. You know, say I was just looking at this car. I don't see Cammy on here anymore. Talk us through a little bit about what's going on, how you got here tonight. I didn't notice the modified. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, the car my dad's driving right now, I should be hot rodding here in a couple weeks. Everybody seen last week, he piled her up, and to be honest with you folks, I quit racing last week. I was pissed. But we talked about it, and we can't quit. We got to put on a show for you fans.
Well, you definitely put a show on, Johnny. Tell us who else helps you get this thing here.
I got to thank North Country Directional Drilling. They jumped on. Well, they were with us last year, but they jumped on board. We weren't even going to run late models, and they said, heck with that, you got to be in a late model. So they helped us out with everybody else. Broking's Transport, Kane Designs, 218 Style, Meyer Welding, and of course all you fans, thank you all so much for coming. And if Domination Race Cars is the best damn swing arm car you'll ever see, and it's the only one in the goddamn pits.
Well, Johnny, congratulations on your win. Enjoy it.
So Johnny Broking winning here tonight, followed by Kevin Burdick, Skeeter Esty, Jeff Provenzino, and Jeff Massengill. Rounding out your top 5 in our late models here this evening on night number 2 at the Hibbing Raceway. Going to bring our Hornets out here as we wrap things up. 22 of them, 15 laps. Zeb Graves is going to be your pole sitter in the 31. He'll be alongside the 4-car, Brian Barker. Row number 2 has a 24J of Jay Delore, last year's track champion, and the 46 of Luis Skaya. Row 3, the 27 of Brady Fossil, and the 25K of McKenna Folstead, who picked up the win last Saturday night. Row 4, the 79 JR Michaela Labarge, and the 34 of Mark Gangle. Row 5 in the 38, that'll be Kelvin Sky alongside the 96 of Trenton Beal. Row 6 in the 11 car, that's Tucker Smith. He'll be alongside the 9 of Nick Ruzich. Row 7 will have the 188 of Ian Van Vickel and the 71 of Nathan Bird. Row 8, the 81 of Riker Larson and the 00 of Callie Watson. Row 9, the 22 of Paige Kittner and the 13 of Anastasia Chavez. Row 10, the 08 of Shane Houle and the 21 of Tiffany Howda Sanders. And row 11, the 92 of Zach Sims and the 44 of Olive Hennigan. Again, thanks for coming out and joining us here at Hibbing Speedway, night number 2 of the season. Thanks for you joining us on xrevents.com and XR Plus, and those of you joining our feature races on YouTube Live tonight. All of you, welcome to Minnesota's historic Iron Range and historic Hibbing Speedway. Zeb Graves is in that 31, and Brian Barker In the 4, Jay Delore, Louis Skya, Brady Faso, and McKenna Folstead, your top 3 rows. Gonna go 15 laps as we wrap things up on night number 2. Green flag comes out. Zeb Graves. Good start, and he's going to win the race out of turns 1 and 2, and he will be your early leader. Zeb Graves leading this one. Barker second, Jada Lohr. And we've got a car around over in turn 4. And cars around right off the start here in turns 1 and 2. Zeb Graves a year ago had 3 heat wins here, looking for his first feature win. Said had a win or a heat win earlier tonight. Looking for his first ever feature win. Zeb, 22 years old, racing out of Nashwauk. Had a couple appearances over in Grand Rapids so far this year. Best feature finish was on Thursday night over in Grand Rapids when he finished second. Brian Barker, a first-year racing in that 4-car out of Kelly Lake. We talked about it, Jada Lohr, the defending track champion. Jada only 14 years old. The defending track champion here at Hibbing Raceway. Started racing back in 2022, so third full year of racing for Jada. Also up there in the top 5, Brady Faso, talked about, only 19 years old. Faso with a couple of feature wins already this year over in Bemidji. He's already been out quite a few times. He's raced at Granite City, Ogilvie a number of times. He's driven all the way over to Fergus Falls, Alexandria. He's been down in Sauk Rapids at the Granite City Motor Park. Grand Rapids, Superior, Bemidji. Ian Van Vickle in that 188 is going to get pushed off by the folks from Iron Range Towing. Zeb Graves going to lead us out on this restart. Green flag is out. 3 wide for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Mark Gangle in on that one. Jada Lohr, Brady Faso. Nice restart for the 34, Mark Gangle. He's in that silver 34 car. Graves leads. Gangle, Barker, Lohr. Faso and last week's feature winner McKenna Folstead. Nick Ruzic also in there in the 9 car. Gangle going for the lead on the back stretch into turn 3. Gangle in the 34, Graves in the 31, and at the line, it's the 34, Mark Gangle. Brian Barker holding on to that 3rd spot. Jada Lohr in 4th. McKenna Folstead and Brady Faso battling for 5th, 6th. Gangle again has Zeb Graves by just a nose here at the start-finish line. What a battle up front between the 31 of Zeb Graves and the 34 of Mark Gangle. That time it was Graves at the start-finish line. Graves by about a car length now over Mark Gangle, but they're going to be coming up on lap traffic. And Brian Barker, who is running up front with a flat tire on that 4 car, he's going to have to pull that one into the pit. Halfway through this one, Zeb Graves, Mark Gangle, McKenna Folstead, Jada Lohr, and Michaela Labarge, your top runners. Graves into some more heavy traffic, going to get past Paige Kittner. Has to weave around Shane Houle. Gangle having a little more problems with the lap traffic than Zeb Graves. Paige Kittner gets bumped, and she's going to keep that 22 going straight. So we'll stay green in this one. There's your leader, Zeb Graves. Fire in a car on the backstretch. Fire on the 71 of Nathan Bird. And Nathan Bird out of the car. Looks like the fire's still going in that 71. Or maybe that's the lights from Jim's four-wheeler. Just saw a blaze of fire come out of that 71 car as he went down the backstretch. Well, Zeb Graves probably didn't want to see this caution because he hit himself a pretty good lead up front, and Graves was doing a good job working his way through traffic. Mark Gangle was having a little more problems getting through traffic, but that's going to put Gangle right back up next to the 31 of Graves. Once again, no racing next Saturday. We'll be racing next Sunday night here in Hibbing, all part of the XR Northern Storm. Zeb Graves will lead us out. The 25 of McKenna Folstead, who won last week on the inside of row 2 alongside the 34 of Mark Gangle. Brady Fossil with a good start in that 27 car. Graves is in the 31. Gangle in the 34. Folstead in the 25. Brady Fosso in the 27. Michaela Labarge in the 79. Those are your top 5. Little smoke coming out of the rear end of the 31 of Zeb Graves. White flag will be out this time by for the 31 of Zeb Graves. And problems for the 79 of Michaela Labarge, who is running up in the top 5. Flat tire on the right side. Checkered flag's going to be out for Zeb Graves. First time ever for the youngster out of Nashwauk. First win, feature win. He's had some heat wins, including last week, and he is going to go into our victory lane. Your winner from Keewatin in the 31 will be Zeb Graves. Graves was followed by last week's feature winner, McKenna Folstead. Then we had the 27 of Brady Faso, the 34. Or the 38, I should say, of Skaya. Those are your top finishers. Actually, Mark Gangle, then Skaya. So those are your top 5 finishers. But let's head down into our victory lane and hear it for your winner, Zeb Graves.
Folks down here with the 31, Zach Graves. Zeb Graves, hey man, you had this thing cranked up. A little bit of a battle there with the 34. It seemed like he challenged you early on, but he couldn't keep up to that pace.
Yeah, he did. I got a little nervous there and started driving like crazy at first, but then I calmed myself back down.
Well, yeah, you calmed her down. You got faster as you went. Tell us about the people that helped you get here tonight.
Well, the girlfriend forgot me last week, so I'll thank her this week. My mom, Amber Warren, Jake Canna, Colin, Sarah, the girlfriend's whole family, her grandparents, my grandparents, Sue Thompson. Yeah, we've been having an overheating issue with this car the last 4 nights. We're back to 260 degrees again tonight, but I said, screw it, we're going for it.
Hey, man, well, enjoy the win. You're here in Victory Lane tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
So Zeb Graves winning here this evening. Once again, no racing next Saturday night. We'll be here on Sunday night, all part of the XR Northern Storm. Congratulations to all of our winners here this evening. Thanks to all of you for joining us here at Hibbing Speedway. Don't forget racing tomorrow night in Proctor, getting underway at 5 o'clock if you want to come down and join us. And we'll be back here next Sunday night. Thanks for coming out, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great racing week.